there everyone, I'm Kim Tritton from the University of Kent, and I'm just going to be giving you a quick overview about the university, telling you a bit more about what we have to offer and see if it might be the right fit for you in terms of a UK university that you may want to consider and also who you may end up coming to for your studies, okay? Okay. So just to tell you a bit more about the university, we are a top ranking university in the UK, both in terms of the general ranking scales, we're a top 20 university, but also and more importantly for us in terms of student satisfaction. So what the actual students who are coming to us say about the programmes and the university and the environment that we offer. So we are consistently voted one of the top universities in the UK for international student satisfaction. We're ranked third in the UK for satisfaction in the Times Good University Guide, and we were number one in London and the South East for 3 years running. So that really goes to show that the students with us are very, very happy with their time at Kent, both with the academics that we teach, but also with the environment that we offer them in terms of their social and their cultural progression. We're ranked 20th in the UK, as I said, and we're a favourite destination amongst students from about 130 different countries. We have an award-winning departments, and I'll go on about that in more detail later on. Okay, so we have academic excellence and world-leading research at the university. So we have award-winning dedicated teaching informed by world-leading research in the humanities, the sciences and the social sciences. 18 of our schools are recognised as having world-class standing research. We actually only have 18 schools, so it means each and every one of them was recognised, okay? Some of the key areas that we performed very, very strongly in terms of our academic excellence were our law school, business, economics, biosciences, history, social policy and sociology, statistics and operational research, drama and film study, anthropology, English and French. So within all of these areas we were top 12 in the UK, and in some of these areas we were second, third, fourth, fifth. So very, very strong areas, and I think the encouraging thing for us is that all of those actually cover all three faculties that we offer: the sciences, the social sciences and the humanities. We have some fantastic locations at our university. So for the undergraduate students, we have campuses in Canterbury, which is our flagship campus. It's one of the biggest and the greenest university campuses in the UK. It's a safe, self-contained environment with everything you need from good academics to social life. We're actually have the best of both worlds with this campus in that it is a large campus. It's 320 acres, but we're also in the city centre, so you can walk into the city centre in just 20 minutes, or you can take our university bus, which runs every 8 minutes and just takes about 5 minutes to get into the town. So it's very, very easy, very convenient. We're also just 1 hour to London. It's actually 53 minutes to be precise. And just 2 hours to Paris and 2.5 hours to Brussels. So you really can get around very, very easily from where we are. We're also located near to the two international airports in the UK, so London Gatwick and London Heathrow would be our closest, and it takes about 1.5 hours to 2 hours depending on how you're getting to the university, whether it be by taxi, by rail or by bus. Our second campus is our campus in Medway. Now this is our campus that we've built primarily for our School of Arts, our School of Pharmacy, our School of Journalism and our School of Sports Science. It's a great campus for you. It overlooks the Chatham Dockyards, the historic dockyards, where Sherlock Holmes and films like that have recently been filmed. So it's an excellent campus for you, and it has all of the right facilities that you need. So for our journalism school, it has full studio space. For our art school, it's got metalwork, it's got woodwork, it's got complete galleries with mezzanine levels, everything that you would need if you're doing audio art or if you're painting or sculpting. So it really is a great space. And in terms of our sports science, it has all of the lab facilities that you would need, and also we are allied to a leisure centre in the local area for you to do practical work whilst you're with us as well. So it's a great campus. It's a little bit closer to London, so you could actually get from that campus to London in about 40 minutes or so. So very, very easy for you. And we also do have a bus service that runs between our two campuses to allow students at both campuses to work together as well. Okay? In terms of the locations, they both have very good culture and literary heritage. They're both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and they have a local population. Canterbury has a local population of about 65 to 70,000. Medway has a population of about 50,000. So both quite small cities, but they have a student population jointly of about 60,000 because there are actually 3 universities located within the city of Canterbury, and there's 3 universities that share the Medway campus. We also get around 2 million visitors each year to both these locations because they are particularly popular with tourists as well. So it's a very vibrant culture that you'll get. Very people-friendly city centres, lots of specialist shops, restaurants, bars and bistros. It's got a new development in one side of town and an older side in the other, so it kind of marries the two together very, very nicely for you. And it is a student-centred city, so everything is geared towards the students, so you'll have student offers everywhere you go. In terms of our international atmosphere, we have just under 20,000 students at our university. 16,000 or so of them are undergraduate students, and the rest are our postgraduate students. We have about 300 students from the US with us, either on full-time study or short-term study with us. And we have a 26% international student body, so it's really, really international from lots of different countries. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is our academics are excellent at the university, very, very strong, very rigorous. We've looked at employing the very best in their fields, and they do constant research and are imparting that research with their students. In terms of the employability, we also look at that for our students and how we can help them find the very best opportunities in the future. So along with all the programs that you'll get to study at the university, you'll also be able to get practical work experience. So if you're in our law school, for example, you could be working within our law clinic, working on real life cases. If you're within our computing school, you'll be working in our IT clinic. You could be making new programs for outside companies or just servicing the university's internal needs. If you're doing a business degree, then we can arrange a work placement for you, maybe in the London Stock Exchange, maybe with IBM, Microsoft, lots of different companies. So we offer those work placements with nearly every degree that we offer, with the exception of the pharmacy degree, which has a practical placement added into it anyway, and also the law degrees as you're doing that through the law clinic. So with most of our programs, you will, if you want to, be able to add in an extra year and be able to do a work placement. Just to go through the job prospects a bit more, Kent is within the top 20% in graduating salaries in the UK. And as I say, we have the year in industry, and that's not just in the UK. If you wanted to take it overseas, you could go to China, you could go to Hong Kong, you could come back to the US, you could go to Canada, lots of different options for you. I think our percentages for our employability speak for themselves, in that 95.2% of our undergraduates found work within the field in which they studied in within 6 months of graduating, and that's even higher at 97.2% for our postgraduate students, and that's not even counting the students who went into different fields. We do have a professional careers advisory service, and I try and get students to use this all throughout their studies, not just at the end. They can help you with interview skills, they can help you with CV prep, but they can also help figure out what kind of career you might want to go into in the future. There are lots of different degrees out there which will allow you to go into a number of fields. So if you're taking a law degree, you don't just have to be a lawyer. If you're taking a business degree, you could go into many, many areas, and they will help to figure that out with you. Okay? And then, as I said, we are a pioneering university, so we do have different ways in which we impart practical knowledge onto our students. So as I say, it could be through the law clinic or through our IT centre or through any number of our other options that we have for our students. Okay, so in terms of facilities, we have excellent facilities at the university, and we're constantly investing in new facilities. So last year we actually built a music centre, which you can actually see in the top right hand corner of the slide. That was actually the artist impression that has now been built and is available for students to use at the university. So every year our different departments get to bid on new facilities that they would like, and we constantly invest in those. So if you're in our biosciences school, you will have up-to-date equipment to look at cancer biology, reproductive medicines. If you are in our School of Arts, you will have all of the different facilities you need in order to do whichever type of art that you want to do, be it, as I say, woodwork or jewellery design or fashion design or audio art, art installation, film art, anything you want to do. In terms of our journalism school, as I say, you have full studio space. That would be TV broadcasting, that would be radio broadcasting, that would be having access to all of the online resources that you would need in terms of looking at publishing. So it really is about investing in our future and investing in our students' futures. Okay, and then we have excellent facilities for outside of your studies, because in order to do well as a student, you need to be happy, and part of that is having a good social experience as well. So though we want you to concentrate on your studies, we're also aware that you do need that bit of downtime. So we have excellent sports facilities, and we're really happy to say that actually 40% of our student body is now joined to at least 2 sports clubs or more, because we've been pushing that healthy lifestyle. We do have top academic resources. We have one of the largest library resources in the UK, and there's now a lot of resources in terms of online resources that we have given to our students. We have multi-faith prayer facilities, we have on-campus banks, health centre, shops, so all of those little things that you don't want to have to worry about from day to day, we have them all sorted for you. We also have a student radio station and newspaper, a theatre and a cinema, all on site for you. We have orchestras, bands and concerts. We have several bistros, so every type of food that you could think of you can actually get at the university. And we have postgraduate and undergraduate accommodation. So there's really a lot to offer for all students. And then, as I say, we're very lucky that we have a city centre environment, but we also have the countryside on our doorstep. So if you want to get active and get out there, there's definitely that opportunity for you. Okay, then moving on. It should load in a minute. Yeah. Okay, so we have a very welcoming environment for you as well. We have an International Student Week that we offer for our students coming in for their first week. So those would be things like getting you sorted in terms of your bank account, getting your accommodation sorted, getting you to meet new students and get used to the city that you're in. But we have ongoing support as well. So we have a World Festival and an Arts Festival that we run throughout the years. There's lots and lots for you to do. And in our local area, there is a big push on the arts, live music. So there's definitely a lot of festivals and cultural events for you to get involved in. And then we do have a very supportive environment. So we do have that careers advisory service for you to go to at any time. We have a students' union. So in the UK, as soon as you're joined to a university, but as soon as you become one of our students, you're part of the students' union. And that's a great network for you to have. So it could just be a bit of fun. Maybe you want to join some of the societies, maybe you want to get involved in some of the social events, or it could be that you want to get more involved in the politics of the students' union. You want to run for students' union president, or you want to be festivals officer. Those are great things for you to put on your CV, as well as a very worthwhile cause for you to get involved in. You really have the right as a student to push yourselves forwards. Definitely get involved in that. We have over 100 different clubs and societies that you can join. Now, some of these will be allied to your particular area of study, and then some of them will just be for fun. So it could be that you want to join the music society, the yoga society. There's even a chocolate eating society if you want to join it. If there is a society that we don't have and that you think we should have, well, if you can get 5 of your friends together, then you can actually start that society, and you could actually get funding for that from the Students' Union. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can get involved in the social experience at university. We also have the computing service, so if you do feel that there is any particular computing programs maybe that you're not that familiar with and you would like more guidance on, then you can actually get help from the computing service. The university has actually got Wi-Fi enabled all throughout the campus itself, and there are a number of computers that you can use if for any reason you don't have your own or you just need different software that you don't have on your computers. Okay. Then we have the unit for enhancement of learning and teaching. Now this is something I really tend to push with the students, and I don't think enough students use it, UK-based students and international students alike. So basically this is here to support you throughout your studies in any way that you need to, and it's completely free of charge. So I remember when I went to university, and it was a while ago now, they used to give you handouts as opposed to having everything online. And they would say to you, we want you to do active listening as you're going through the lectures. So we would like you to basically just highlight stuff instead of taking a lot of notes, which might distract you from what's actually being said. And I remember after the first week of lectures, all of my page was yellow, where I'd highlighted pretty much everything, because at that point, everything was important to me. So I think that these are definitely things that you could get help with: note-taking, essay prep, exam prep, presentation skills. So take advantage of it. It's completely free of charge. And then we do have your health and your welfare covered. So as soon as you enter a UK institution for at least a 9-month study or more, you're automatically part of the National Health Service, and we're very lucky that we have a doctor's and a pharmacy on hand. So hopefully nothing will happen to you whilst you're with us, but if you do need to seek any kind of medical help, that is on hand for you. Okay, so in terms of the degrees that we teach at Kent, we run a number of bachelor's degrees. Now these could be a bachelor's in arts, a bachelor's in business administration, engineering, sciences, an LLB programme. They're generally 3 years in length. Yes, that's 3 years in length as opposed to 4 years that you might have at a US institution. And then there are a number of 4-year programmes that you could take if you want an integrated undergraduate and master's programme. So an M-Drama, an M-Eng or an M-Arch programme. Okay, we normally teach single honours programmes. So the difference is, and the reason why you do a 3-year programme as opposed to a 4-year programme, is that you're picking your major from your very first year in the university, and you'll study that in a focused way. So all 8 modules that you take in your first year, your second year and your third year will be based on that one subject area. So we really can make you a specialist in a shorter amount of time. You can choose a joint major if you want to, and that might be a major minor, or it could be 50-50. You usually can't choose any more than 2 subjects though, okay? And then there are many programmes, as I say, with that year abroad option or a year in industry option. So definitely look at that, because I think that's a great opportunity for students. And again, if you're coming from the US, then it is going to mean that in the same time a student in the US takes to do an undergraduate degree, you could have done an undergraduate degree with the year in industry. So becoming a lot more employable in terms of your future career prospects. In terms of the postgraduate programmes, we have postgraduate diplomas, which range to about 9 months in length. And then we have master's programmes, which again are shorter in the UK. So you're looking at a 1-year programme. That could be an Masters in Arts, Masters in Science, MBA, MLit, or an LLM programme. We do offer some programmes at master's level that are 2 years in length. So if you wanted to take one of our 2-year programmes in computing, for example, again, you could have a year in industry, so a work placement within that time. If you wanted to take one of our programmes in politics that are 2 years, you could actually come out with what they call a B diploma, where you actually get a 1-year programme from the University of Kent and then a 1-year programme from one of our European partners. So it means you're getting a dual degree in one go. Okay, and then in terms of research, these run anywhere from a 3-year research programme upwards. So if you do a PhD, you could complete within 3 years. Obviously, if you want to take longer, you want to do field study, it could be 4 years or 5 years. And we also do offer the MPhil, which is a 2-year programme. Okay. Now, the living cost and the tuition fees. So in terms of the costs of our programme, these are general costs that I'm giving you here. Some of the programmes will have their own specific costs, but generally speaking, if you're doing something that is a humanities or a social sciences subject, then you would be looking at about £12,450. If you're looking at something which is a sciences subject, then you're looking at £14,860, and these are per year. Okay, so if it's a undergraduate programme, remember it's just 3 years, and if it's a postgraduate taught programme, it will be 1 year, or a PhD would be a 3-year programme. Okay, and then also just to remember the living expenses. So the UKBA suggests about £800 per month. I think that would be more than enough for you to live on within Canterbury. So you'd be looking, if you're an undergraduate student, because you study from September through to June, you'd be looking at 7,200. If you're a postgraduate student, it's a 1-year programme and it's 1 year complete year from September through to September. So you're looking at about 9,600 or less, okay, depending on how much you spend on food, clothes, etc. Okay, then there are scholarships available to students from outside of the UK and the EU. Now these are international scholarships, the largest of which is £5,000. So it's £5,000 per year of study. So if you're doing an undergraduate degree, it's going to be for the 3 years. If you're doing a postgraduate taught 1 year, and PhD again 3 years. Now, as I say, these are available to all international students. So you just need to have applied to the university and been made an offer to apply for these. There are also smaller departmental scholarships available, which run anywhere from £1,000 to £2,500. And then we also have a sports scholarship, and there are also other funding opportunities to get through the British Council. And bear in mind that you can also use your US student loans for UK universities, and we actually administer them at the University of Kent as well. Okay, then in terms of your graduation, so I know this may seem far off because you haven't yet even made an application to the university, but we do have an excellent graduation ceremony that we offer to our students. We're lucky enough that we are the only UK university to be allowed to hold our graduation ceremonies in Canterbury Cathedral, which is one of the oldest cathedrals in the UK and is actually where the Archbishop sits at the moment. It's an excellent space for you to graduate in, very awe-inspiring, and when you're in there, you really feel the accomplishment that you have gained through studying at the University of Kent. So then just a few other things I wanted to touch on before I go through any questions that anybody has raised, is that studying in the UK can be a bit different to studying in the US. So as I've already said, it's a 3-year programme as opposed to a 4-year programme for undergraduates, and a 1-year programme as opposed to a 2-year programme for taught programmes at postgraduate level, and then 3 years as opposed to 5 years at PhD level. What that means is the teaching style will be demanding, it will be challenging. You need to be prepared to express your opinions and participate in discussions within class. You will need to read and research and discuss opinions. You'll need to establish points of view. These are all very important parts of the programme, and you need to expect a balance between teaching and learning and self-directed learning as well. So in the UK, we are very much about independent learning styles. You will have a good amount of contact time, which is actually one of the reasons why it's so comparable in terms of time, 1 year as opposed to 2 years, is because we make sure that you have the same amount of contact time in there. But there's also a lot of self-directed study. So students often ask me, how long will I be in classes for? And I say, you may be in classes for about between 20 and 24 hours per week. That's seminars, lectures, lab classes. But you'll also have about 12 hours reading per week. You'll also have about 12 hours group study work. You'll then be expected to do all your coursework, so your essays, your exam prep, your research projects, your presentations, your reports. So there's a lot to do within that time, okay? So it is very, very intensive, and you have to be ready to study at that level, and you have to be ready to specialise. Okay, so what can you expect from living in the UK? So the UK is a very multicultural society for you, and we welcome new cultures and influences from all over the world. People are friendly, are very tolerant, and you'll be surprised to hear informal. I think there's always that joke that people in the UK are always super formal, but actually we can be very relaxed as well. People are welcoming, but you need to be prepared to make the effort as well. So go out there, make some new friends. One thing we do in terms of accommodation when you come to us is we actually don't put students in accommodation based on their nationality group. We like to mix students around a bit. So that means you're going to meeting students from all over the world, but also from the UK. And these will be your friends and your colleagues and your peers throughout your studies. So I think it's a good idea to get involved with that, okay? And then remember, joining a university society, a sports club, doing a part-time job, getting involved in the practical opportunities at the university, going along to the open lectures, going along to the guest lectures, meeting as many people as possible, going to the networking evenings. These are all things that are going to expand your experience at the university and make it a truly, truly great experience for you. Okay, so that comes to the end of the formal presentation as it is. In terms of what we look for in terms of students, we're looking for students, as I say, who are committed and who are focused and who have decided upon an area for them to study. In terms of entry levels, a few of our programs have different entry levels for you, but basically speaking, at undergraduate level when you're coming into us, we're looking at a good high school GPA, and then we're looking at AP classes. So if you have 2 AP classes or more, and usually at about 4 or 5, then that's what we're looking for students. We don't need SATs, we don't need the ACTs, we don't do a lot of standardising testing in the UK, so we wouldn't really expect it from our students. If you're coming in at postgraduate level, we're looking for you to have a good GPA, so normally a 3.2 out of 4 or equivalent. And then you can come into our university. We would also look for you to have studied the particular areas that you're looking to focus on, because as I say, our students would have at least 24 modules in any particular area once they finish an undergraduate study. So we're really looking at why you want to do that programme and what you've studied through your years that would allow you to do that programme. There are a number of conversion areas that you could also take if maybe you've studied a different area but you want to come into business or you want to go into computing. So there are some crossover areas that we could look at for you as well. You need to have 2 good academic references, and you need to have, as I say, a strong personal statement as to why you want to do that programme. Okay? And then in terms of that, we just want you to really tell us what it is about our programme that you'd like to take. So generally those are the things that I think most students tend to ask about when wanting to learn about our university. Feel free, if any of you have any questions, to send them through to me. I'm more than happy to answer them. I've just seen, so one of you has sent in a message to say that your major is fashion design and you want to know if that's offered at the University of Kent. So we offer a fine arts programme, which could be any type of art that you want to do. So we do have fashion designers with us, though they are taking a bachelor's in fine arts as opposed to a bachelor's in fashion. But if you would like to do that with us, that's open to you to do that with us. If not, you could look at a number of fashion schools in the UK. So there are quite a lot incorporated within, say, London, but you could also look at universities around the whole of the UK. So if you look at the Times Good University Guide or the Guardian, that will also pinpoint you in the direction of pure fashion schools if that's what you're after. But you can definitely do your fashion through our fine arts programme. In terms of, so another question is in terms of the strengths at our university. As I say, we were started in as a social science based university, so our law programs, economics, our business programs, psychology, sociology, politics, these were all our founding programs, but we do have niche areas in the sciences as well. So our biosciences school is extremely strong with our cancer biologies, reproductive medicines and our biomedical program. Our pharmacy is very well known. Our astrophysics program is excellent as well. Forensic sciences, we're one of the universities that offer a very niche area within forensic sciences. Our mathematics school, we're one of the only universities in the UK to offer the actual science route that you can take with us. So there's lots of different areas, and our computing school is very well known for its programming with BlueJ, Java, C++. We also have a very strong school of electronic engineering, though that's our only type of engineering at the university. And then our fine arts school is an excellent school. It had a £6 million investment. As I say, our sports sciences is very strong. We have an excellent school of English because if you look at where we're based, Canterbury is the home of Geoffrey Chaucer. Christopher Marlowe was also based there. So we've had a lot of really strong researchers come to us because of where these key writers were based. And then we also have that excellent school of journalism that I've spoken about. So that is actually recognised as the best journalism school in the UK by the National Council of Broadcast Journalism. So these are really strong areas for you. Okay, so a couple of you want to know more about the programs and the work experience. Okay, so with the work experience programs, it's what we call a year in industry at our university, or it's also sometimes called a sandwich year. And that basically means that you study for your first 2 years at the university, and then in the third year you actually go out for a work placement before coming back for one more final year. Now that work placement is actually a paid placement, and you don't pay tuition fees in that year. Our students usually earn an average salary of £20,000. So that's an excellent salary to be earning. Now the jobs are also jobs that you would be doing had you graduated from university. So you're not making tea or doing someone's filing. It's actually a job that you would have done had you graduated. So it's an excellent opportunity for you to test out a particular type of career, but also to get work experience for when you finish at the university. And that's all incorporated within your student visa as well. So what you would be able to do in that year is earn enough to obviously pay for your living costs, but also possibly to save about £10,000 towards your final year of study. Okay? Just wait to see if there's any other questions that anybody raises. Okay, well what I might touch on as well is about study abroad, because I know that some of you, rather than looking at full-time programmes, might also be looking at the study abroad options at the university. So we have a number of study abroad options that we can have you come on to. So it could be that you want to do a full year study abroad, in which case you would be allied to one of our partner institutions, or we could do it as an independent study year, but you would obviously need to see how that would work in terms of translating those credit backs. Or if you didn't want to do a full year but you wanted to do a semester, we also offer a full semester or spring semester for you. So there's lots of different options there, and that's across our School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Sciences subjects. So there's a range of different options there for you. If you were to take a degree at the university but also wanted to incorporate another study abroad, that's definitely something you could do as well. So again, you could make it a 4-year programme and study within another European university, or maybe within North America, or maybe within Hong Kong or China, or any of our other partnerships across the globe. So we have a number of partnerships. See if there's any other questions that have come through at the university. Okay, so there's more questions about again where we're located and what that means for students. So I think generally in speaking in terms of comparing the UK to the US is much larger than the UK. So students often say to me, well, I'm interested in coming to Kent, but I know another person who's going to Manchester, and it's such a big move that I'm not sure I would want to go to university on my own. Maybe if my friend is going to Manchester, which is in the north, maybe I should go there. In terms of the UK, it is that small that it's very easy to get about. So as I said, we're about 1 hour from London, but we could actually get up to Edinburgh, which is in the north of the UK, and we're in the very southeast, within about 6 hours with train changes. So it's very easy to get around the UK, and the train network is very strong as well. So I often say to students, why not go to a different city than your friend? You could make a whole new group of friends, and then you could also come together, and it gives you that opportunity to move around the UK and also to meet different people from different places. And also in terms of career prospects, though we have very strong links in terms of London, if you wanted to actually investigate other cities in the UK once you're with us, that's very easy to do as well. And as I said, those work placements that we arrange could be within London, they could be anywhere within the UK, they could be within Europe, they could be around the world. So there is definitely a big network for you to be gaining through that. Okay, so another question would be about the rankings of the university, and people are saying they've seen a lot of different rankings in different places and they're not sure which ones to go by. Well, I mean, rankings are always a good thing to consider, and you know, you are going to be paying out for your education, so you want to be making sure that you're getting the very best that you can. What I normally say to students is to look at the general rankings. I mean, we're, as I say, top 20, but I think it's also good to look at the subject-specific rankings. If you're going to come to us to study biosciences, how well are we ranked for that? If you're going to come to study maths with us, where do we rank for that? A university could have a great overall ranking, but then when you look at the subject-based ranking, there could be a number of other universities who are ahead of them. So it's about considering all those options. And then, as I said, student satisfaction for us is a major issue. We are very keen to make sure that all of the students are feeding back about our programmes, and that we're developing our programmes with the students in mind. And I think that that's something very key for you, because a lot of these other ranking scales, so they're good to consider, may be made up of any number of factors. How much money does the university generate year on year? How many lecturers does it have in terms of part-time lecturers, full-time lecturers, all these kind of things considered. So if you go to what the students think about the assessments, what the students thought about the classes, what they thought about the lecturers themselves, the interaction that they had, that's very, very important for you. Okay? And then the other thing to consider is that the academic community in the UK is extremely close-knit. So it may be that you do your undergraduate with us or your postgraduate with us, and then you think, well, where shall I go and do my next area of study? Where shall I do my PhD? Where shall I do my master's? And you might find that actually universities suggest you go somewhere else rather than continue on with them. That's not necessarily because they don't have excellent teachers. It's not necessarily because you're not an excellent student. It could just be that the particular area you want, they know somebody based at another university who is the perfect fit for that. So what we say in UK universities is there's no one size fits all. It's about finding the right place for yourself. So it's about looking at location, it's about looking at the teaching staff, it's about looking at the social environment, and does that all fit very closely for you? Does it all fit with what you would like? Okay, well I think that's it for now. There doesn't seem to be any other questions. But if you do want to contact me, you can go to the main Kent page. All my contact details are on there. There's a load of information on there for you, talking about the student life, talking about funding, talking about the programmes, talking about the research. There's a couple of great videos for you to watch on there. There's a lovely video done by our US students who are currently with us. We thank them very much for that, but it also, as I say, just gives you an idea of what they think of the programmes. So definitely go on and explore, and then my advice to you would be to explore as many universities as possible whilst making the decision-making process. I myself studied at 2 very different universities within my time at university, and I may well go on to study again at a separate university, maybe overseas in the future as well. So I think it's really good to do the research. These kind of events with College Week Live are an excellent way to learn about a lot of different universities, you know, in a relatively short amount of time, but also see if there are any exhibitions that are happening in your home city, see if there are lots of different ways that you can interact with different staff members, contact the universities, ask as many questions as possible. If you want to flood me with emails after this, I'm more than happy to answer them. So I hope that's been helpful and worthwhile for you, and I thank you for taking the time to come to the Kent presentation today. Thank you.